this week is going to be all about radical self-care, and mainly that I'm having a full-on HYDRA-FACIal, so you'll be able to find out what that does to my skin, because when I'm feeling tired and worn out and stressed and anxious, I know that that plays a role on my skin. Hi everyone, so as you may know, I had a rough challenging week last week, and I failed on my new sleep routine, but this week is going to be all about radical self-care, and mainly that I'm having a full-on HYDRA-FACIal, so you'll be able to find out what that does to my skin, because when I'm feeling tired and worn out and stressed and anxious, I know that that plays a role on my skin. I start to feel like I'm getting old. So I'm a big believer in self-care, and for me, skin and spa and pampering is great. I also have lots of positive affirmations. So by my bed, you can see at the back, live simply, love truly. Just about to hang this one up. You are all kinds of amazing. And they say when you do positive affirmations that you should say them and mean them and be like, I am all kinds of amazing, and really feel it and mean it to make it actually start to do something for you, and actually to make yourself start to feel it and mean it. I've also got ones up on here saying I am loved, dreams live here, I am worthy. I've got them all on my wall. So I'm all about self-care and trying to believe in yourself, and it's no mean feat, especially when I get really bad anxiety to the point where I don't want to go out. I don't want people to see me, but this is why I vlog so openly, and these are my secret diaries. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and let's see how I get on this week. Fingers crossed. So I've come to Huddersfield for the day, and I've checked out the new leisure centre. So I've just been to a body combat class, which is really good, but as it's all about self-care, I've done my fitness, and now it's time for that HYDRA-FACIal, hence why I've hardly got any makeup on. So I am ready, I'm fresh faced, as I'm off to have this HYDRA-FACIal, which I'm really excited about, in Huddersfield at a very special clinic. So mind the face, because I am having a self-care day, and I'm sure, because I don't look after my skin well enough, that this will be a great way to start the new year afresh with Dr. Anisha at the Skin Clinic on Birkhouse Lane in Huddersfield. So let's see how we get on, because I've never had a HYDRA-FACIal before, so I haven't got a clue what it entails, and I'm all kind of wintered out, stressed out, so I'm really looking forward to some me time. So I've arrived, and I'm just filling out some of the forms before I have my skin looked at. And apparently the HYDRA-FACIal is like 6 facials in one, so I'm just pointing out some of my issues, like dark circles under my eyes, thanks to kids and stress.
Do the skin scan just now, Sophie, so it's just going to involve popping your head in this machine, and we're going to have a little bit more of an in-depth look at your skin.
How long does it take?
Literally seconds.
Oh, right. So if you go in with a little pod there, if you want to pop your chin on there, and I'm going to just place this round you. Is the hair fully back?
Yeah, just tilt your forehead back a little bit for us, Sophie. Yeah. You happy with that, Helen?
Yeah. So if you want to close your eyes for me, and I'm going to start now.
Sort of fine lines here, which everybody has. Tiny little, maybe some pores here, but actually your skin's looking really, really good. Okay. So the next image looks at your skin without the flash of the light.
Okay, yeah.
So what we're looking for here is any areas of inflammation or any areas of redness or underlying erythema, redness basically. So people that have certain inflammatory conditions can look quite red underneath. So you look absolutely fine, tiny little bit of redness on the cheeks, but nothing that I would get sort of too excited about, really, to be honest. I don't think it's, you know, it doesn't look like you've got rosacea or anything like that. Yeah. Just a little bit of maybe some tiny little thread veins on this side, but nothing, like I say, too drastic. So this is one of the interesting ones. So this is looking at your texture now. So this is looking at pores, lines, wrinkles and that sort of thing. So we can see here on this image a little bit just here,
Yeah.
which you would expect, a little bit around the nose,
Yeah.
and just a little bit here where the texture of your skin is maybe not quite as smooth as perhaps it once was.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we're looking at any sort of oil, we're looking at dryness or oiliness and bacteria. These tiny little pinky white bits just are suggestive of maybe a little bit of bacteria, a little bit of oil. A lot of people classically have them around this area, and it's usually because when we cleanse we just forget to get into these areas.
Yeah.
So that's all what we would really suggest is a good cleanser, just to get into these little areas here.
Yeah.
And here, so this again is just highlighting those tiny little pink areas. This shows a little bit of pigmentation, but actually the next image is better for that. So this is the one that always scares people. But again, yours is looking quite good. So this actually is showing you underlying sun damage.
Okay.
So it's really interesting because what we can see here is we can see areas of pigmentation underneath the skin that you can't see on the surface. And you know, when I was talking to you about that sun damage, that's where this comes in. So we can see a little bit around here. Do you see that tiny bit where you've got just little changes of pigment? And just round here you can see that sort of, there's definitely some pigmentation changes. This is due to years and years of just sun damage, and we've all got it. And in an ideal world, you'd want to start using sunscreen daily from being a baby in order to prevent this, but obviously none of us do it. Most of us realise in our probably 30s, but really 20, 25 is the age where our skin peaks, and after that it's kind of almost downhill. So that's when we should really start thinking about taking care of our skin. So this is really interesting because, like I say, your skin is actually very good. We see a lot worse than this in terms of underlying sun damage. And what we sometimes do is with some of the treatments that we do and with using like your sunscreens and things like that, you can actually then assess this in like a couple of months and you'll see that it's a lot less. So
cool.
it was quite nice.
I didn't realise you could undo sun damage.
Yes, you can, and so it's really nice to be able to show that as well on people's skin. And like I say, you're fortunate because you know none of this is showing on the surface. But if you weren't to use a sunscreen, so if you continue not using a sunscreen, this will essentially get worse and it'll come to the surface. So you know, like 20 years down the line, this will be on the surface and it'll be more noticeable. So that's kind of a little summary of your skin and its current condition. So really, really good, to be honest with you. I think in terms of other treatments you would maybe benefit from would be maybe something like a little bit of microneedling perhaps to help with the pores. So maybe a little bit of microneedling. I think the HYDRA-FACIAL is also a nice treatment that's going to really help you as well. The HYDRA-FACIAL it contains a peel in it, so we do have an element of peeling in the HYDRA-FACIAL. However, we also have a microdermabrasion element to the HYDRA-FACIAL as well, and there's a lymphatic drainage element to it as well. So the HYDRA-FACIAL is almost like six facials in one. So it's a lot more complex than just having a peel on its own, or having a microdermabrasion on its own, or having a facial on its own. It's a little bit more complex, and the nice thing about it is we can tailor it to your skin and to your skincare needs.
I've just finished my facial and I've just had some light therapy at the end, and now I'm going to see what's actually, has it come out of my skin?
This is a mix of your obviously open pores, clogged pores, and obviously we've exfoliated your skin, so it's extracted skin cells as well.
Oh wow, that's a lot of liquid.
So that's good. So obviously you would look to have it in that done once a month just to help keep on top and skin maintenance really.
Yeah, no, my skin does feel really, really good. It feels it's like glowing now.
That's what,
Naturally glowing.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely glowing, and sadly it's time to go home, but I definitely will be back for more pampering, and my skin just feels amazing. So it's the day after my gorgeous HYDRA-FACIAL. My skin has got a few blemishes, I think, because it's just kind of like healing, but I feel glowing and so much better in myself. So it's a great way for some self-care, and I definitely recommend checking out the Skin Doctor on Instagram and myself at Mama May blog. So let me know what you love to do for self-care, or whether you've tried a facial. I definitely recommend a HYDRA-FACIAL though. It's like a facial on another level, like a medical facial. It's brilliant. So do comment below and do subscribe. Peace, love and shimmies.